Hey Nintendo fans, it's TheJWittz here, and welcome to the new Nintendo Top 10. E3 is just around the corner, and we know there's going to be a ton of information regarding the new Super Smash Bros. Games, so I figured, before the next generation of Smash Bros. Comes out, why not take a moment to reflect on my personal top 10 favorite Super Smash Bros. Characters that we've seen so far. Just as a disclaimer, this isn't a tiered list. A lot of my favorite Smash Bros. Characters really aren't that good in competitive play. These are just my personal top 10.
Number 10.
Dr. Mario. Typically I don't like clone characters, but Dr. Mario is my favorite of the bunch. There aren't many changes between Dr. Mario and the regular one, but in general you're sacrificing a little speed for more powerful attacks and projectiles. I like the way Mario typically plays, mostly up close and personal with potential for really strong finishers. Even though he isn't a major upgrade, the Good Doctor is probably the best version of Mario we've gotten to date, and it's a shame he didn't make his way back into Brawl.
Number 9.
Rob. Rob is the only Smash Bros. Character that isn't technically a video game character, and that makes him ridiculous. The Rob, or Robotic Operating Buddy, was more of a gimmick to help sell the NES in stores rather than an actual successful device. After the video game's crash of 1983, nobody wanted to stock video games consoles anymore, so Nintendo used Rob as a Trojan horse. Wait, look! This isn't a video games console, it's a toy robot! That you need a video games console to use. Rob's signature video games, Gyromite and Stack Up, are pretty bad. But in Brawl, Rob is a ton of fun. He has ridiculous projectiles, really good recovery, and he even has a pretty awesome twist reveal within Brawl's Subspace Emissary.
Number 8.
Ness. Ness signifies one of my favorite things about the Super Smash Bros. Series. Every once in a while, they pull a character out of left field from a game you've never heard of. For Ness, it was the quirky RPG series' mother, known as Earthbound in the States. Despite not being one of the strongest original Smash Bros. Characters, you can't deny that he has some impressive characteristics. He can shoot fire, absorb projectiles, hit you with a yo-yo or a baseball bat, or even redirect lightning into himself! Ness was just so unique in an original cast of 12 characters, where the other 11 were much more well-known in the States, and he's remained one of my favorites since the beginning.
Number 7.
Zelda and Sheik. The duo of Sheik and Zelda is memorable for me for many reasons. For one, they were the first character that could freely transform between two completely different forms. And in general, the character reminds me of one of my favorite video gaming twists of all time, that the mysterious ninja-like Sheik was actually Princess Zelda all along. Even though Zelda isn't fantastic in the Smash Bros. Series, it was the lightning-quick Sheik that really made a name for herself in Melee. We only ever saw Sheik in cutscenes, so designing a character from the ground up that was never playable before was pretty cool. Our arsenal of smoke, daggers, whips, and breakdancing made Sheik one of my favorite additions to Melee, and even though Sheik and Zelda are now separated into their own characters for the upcoming Smash Bros. Games, getting both in one package was pretty great.
Number 6.
Sonic. Having Sonic in Brawl finally answered a lifelong desire for me. Finally letting Mario and Sonic duke it out. And no, I'm not talking about admirable competition in that Olympic game that came out before Brawl. I'm talking about no-holds-barred, hand-to-hand combat. I grew up in an era where Sega and Nintendo's rivalry was nothing like anything you'd see today. You know that video where Sony made fun of Microsoft's old used games policy? We saw videos like that every day.
Gotta go.
Hey guy, you're the first serious gamer I've seen all morning. Check this out, brand new 16-bit Super Nintendo with Super Mario World. Wow!
Oh, what's this one?
Oh, this is a Sonic the Hedgehog from Sega Genesis. Hey, look at these radical colors, huh?
Wow, Sonic's fast, too.
No, over here.
I like Genesis, and it costs a lot less.
Wait, kid, that game
I'll
there.
take Sonic and Genesis.
I knew that.
Sonic and Mario were born to fight. It just took us 15 years longer than we wanted. As a character, Sonic's pretty true to his in-game versions. Fast with lots of quick but low damaging attacks. But if you play with items, you're gonna get sick of him really quickly. His final smash is just... yeah. That.
Number 5.
Snake. Snake is probably the least likely Smash Bros. Character of all time. Aside from the great remake of the original Metal Gear Solid, the Twin Snakes, Solid Snake has never been anything close to a Nintendo exclusive character. In fact, his original announcement came at a time when Metal Gear Solid 4 was coming to every platform but Nintendo's. But once he hit Smash, Instead of Grandpa Snake, we got the awesome Metal Gear Solid 2 Snake armed to the teeth with explosives. With grenades, rockets, and C4, Snake's arsenal of projectiles is just crazy. He's heavy, strong, and overall was a great addition as a guest character in the Smash Bros. Universe. Also, if you tap the down taunt immediately in Shadow Moses, Snake will have a codec conversation about his opponent with the Metal Gear cast. Most of them are pretty hilarious.
Still, don't you think it's romantic? I mean, to have a guy who's always there for you.
If he was smart, he'd tell her to stop getting kidnapped.
You don't get a lot of dates, do you, Snake?
Number 4.
Marth. While Ness helped introduce me to an English game I had never played before, Marth helped bring an entire franchise into English localization. I mean, just listen to this guy in Melee.
みんな、見ていてくれ。今日も生き延びることができた。今回は僕の勝ちだね。
I don't know what he's saying, but he has a sword and he's awesome. As opposed to Link, who has a variety of items, Marth is a pure swordsman, an awesome package of range, speed, and tactics. And speaking of tactics, Marth's inclusion in Melee likely had a huge influence on bringing the Fire Emblem tactical series over to territories outside of Japan. We need more Smash characters from an obscure series I've never heard of. Like Captain Rainbow. Except, you know, the mere fact that I'm mentioning Captain Rainbow means I've heard of him.
Number 3.
Wario. Wario used to be an archetype for a villain. What did we know about him before? He, looks like an evil Mario, and he likes money a lot. Original. But then the WarioWare games came along and turned Wario from a Scrooge McDuck into an absolute madman. And thankfully, we got this Wario in our brawl. Everything about Wario is just bizarre. He can summon a motorcycle out of nowhere, he can bite you, and of course he can unleash a deadly fart that charges over time into a nuclear explosion. He's weird, his animations are unorthodox, and in general he's just downright disgusting. And I love it.
Number 2.
Olimar. I love the Pikmin series, but I never thought Olimar with Pikmin would be that great of a character in Brawl. But as soon as I tried the new character, I just fell in love. There's something mesmerizing about plucking and throwing Pikmin in various ways like a crazy person. Just feels exactly like the main series games. One of my favorite things about Olimar is that he's hard to predict. His projectiles, grabs, and smash attacks all have similar animations, making it easy to mix things up. Managing the Pikmin's various strengths is a ton of fun. The white ones can deal insane projectile damage, the purple ones have awesome smashes, the blue ones have the best throws, and so on. I'm a little disappointed that you can only carry 3 Pikmin in the new Smash Bros. Games instead of 5, but the fixed order and improved recovery might shore up some of his weaknesses. Either way, Olimar is definitely my favorite character in Brawl.
Number 1.
Jigglypuff. What can I say? I'm a sucker for the puff. As many of you guys know from my favorite Pokemon video, Jigglypuff is close to my heart. And when I learned that Puff was a secret character in the original games, I just about flipped out. Jigglypuff wasn't amazing in the original Smash Bros., but it did have this. What? How? Why does that make any sense? It's absolutely against everything I've come to learn as a Pokemon trainer, but Jigglypuff's rest move is a legendary gamble between risk and reward that I just love. Hit, and you send your opponent flying. Miss, and you're wide open to attack because you're sleeping. Jigglypuff went on to be great in Melee, where its aerial game and combos were almost unbeatable. Then, Brawl happened, where this turned into this. Gross. Jigglypuff got worse in many ways from Melee to Brawl, but at the end of the day, competitive or not, Jigglypuff is just so unexpected, so silly, and so risky that it remains my overall favorite character to this day. That's it for today's top 10, but if you thought to yourself, that was kind of fun, I wouldn't mind watching another top 10 like it, you can click this button right here to subscribe to my channel and get alerts right when my new videos come out. I also want to take a moment to thank Audible.com, who've been kind enough to sponsor today's episode. Audible.com is the world leader in audiobooks. You get digital books either through their app or on their website, and they've got a great deal going on where if you use my code, audible.com/TheJWittz, you can get yourself a free audiobook. Now I know what you're thinking, TheJWittz, why are you talking about audiobooks? There's nothing you could possibly recommend to me to read right now. But that's where you're wrong. because the new Blake J. Harris novel Console Wars, which I actually talked about in a past Nintendo News video, is already available in audiobook form as well. So you could use your free code, listen to that. It's a book all about the console war that happened during the 90s between Sega and Nintendo. I learned a lot of stuff, and I actually lived during that era and have researched it for actual papers I've written in school before. So it's definitely a thorough book. They do an interesting retelling where they sort of make it a dramatic story rather than just a straight cut and paste of interviews, and I had a lot of fun with it. So if you're kind of bored around the house or driving or working out and you want to listen to something other than the same music that you've been listening to over and over again, you can check out my code at audible.com/TheJWittz and maybe check out Console Wars. That's all for today's video, but what I want to know from you guys is what are some of your favorite Smash Bros. Characters, and what would you most like to see in the upcoming Super Smash Bros. Wii U or 3DS games? E3 is right around the corner. In fact, it is way closer than I want it to be. I've got a ton of business, planning, travel stuff to do, but I will be there, and I will definitely be bringing you as much news as I can for all things Smash Bros. That happen. Thanks for watching today's video, and I'll see you in the next one.